If you're looking for the best coffee percolator, here's a list you must see. We made this list based on our personal preference and sorted it based on the features, prices, quality, durability, and reputation of the manufacturers and customer feedback. Also, we've included options for every type of customer. So let's get started. At the first position of our list, we have PRES 2811 Stainless Steel COFE maker. Before we jump into my review of this model, allow me to explain why it was chosen as the best percolator. After evaluating those 35 important features for the whole list, this product was proven to possess the most positive aspects of all of the contenders. This combination of features displays the epitome of coffee percolators by which they all must be measured. You can view all the specifics in our data table. This is a nice large volume coffee maker consisting almost exclusively of stainless steel. This construction includes the filter basket and percolating tube. The luxurious steel material is an elegant addition to your kitchen and also makes your new pot quick and simple to clean. Though this model is by itself dazzling to look at and a wonder to clean, it also has other great features like its hefty 12-cup carafe that takes a lightning-fast 60 seconds per cup to brew, and a ready light to signal when it's time to pour. Despite all this greatness, you can purchase this beauty for under $60. We evaluated the sales rate of this machine by measuring its speed of acquiring customer feedback. What we found is that it is a very popular seller, with its first 10 reviews coming in the first week and taking only 18 days for the next 20. Being that coffee makers aren't consumables and drop machines are much more popular. That's saying a lot for this percolator. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Farberware Class IC Yosemite Seal FCP240P Percolator. This little gem has the second most features and the second lowest price on our list, making the Yosemite 8-cup our ideal budget pick. This penny pincher is a good size, brewing up to 8 cups at a time. Made from stainless steel and is both submersible and dishwasher safe. While this pot is a little too shiny to drag out to the campfire, it does make a phenomenal emergency coffee maker. You know, the kind of emergency where you forgot to pay the power bill for a couple months. All kidding aside, this classic has all the right features to make those on a budget quite happy. But they also have to know how to find cheap coffee makers. A new pair of generic jeans usually cost more. Now, not everyone lives in a house like mine, where coffee is guzzled by the gallon on a daily basis. So the half-gallon this one holds is pretty awesome. Some of us have this little obsession with watching the little bubbles in the knob while the coffee brews. And this lets you do that too, although the knob is plastic, not glass. Guess what else? It makes the coffee awesomely. I don't recommend the really fine grinds as much, but this pot will turn the cheapest bargain coffee grounds to a delicacy, so you can save up to pay your bill. Gotcha. I'll stop now. Maybe that's my own bias talking. Percolated coffee just wins hands down for me every time. The number 3 position is held by 14 CUP Percolator by Coleman, bolstering a whopping 14-cup capacity along with a broad, stable base and a clear glass viewing knob. This model reels in our large capacity pick. With durable construction like an enamel-coated steel carafe and stainless steel chip-resistant rim, this is the best percolator for camping too, especially with a big group. I've owned one of these beasts most of my life. Same one going on 30 years as far as I can remember owning it, that is. We still pull it out about half a dozen or so times a year. There are moving parts, there's nothing to break down, except perhaps actually breaking it. Enameled steel isn't all that easy to break though, kind of why it's so great for camping. The only time the power goes out and this baby doesn't get put to use is when the last time it brewed coffee was on a campfire and someone forgot to bring it in. No one ever forgets to make the coffee, but somehow everyone forgets to clean up after. That's okay though. I can't even remember how many times that's happened. All winter long. Yet this 30-year-old pot still makes a mighty fine brew. Next at number 4 we have Farberware FCP240P Percolator. For the occasional coffee drinker, our small capacity pick does a great job in a nice small package. Brew 2 to 4 cups at a time, or even remove the innards and use it to boil water for tea or soup. Although plastic outside, it's fully lined with stainless, is very compact, moderate cost, and can brew a pot in 3 minutes. This really isn't the ideal coffee pot for myself, but I did get one for my daughter's dorm room, and of course, I had to test it out first. What makes it not for me, of course, is the size. That size is exactly what makes it perfect for the daughter though. I sometimes wonder if they were to measure a blood coffee content like they do alcohol, what the legal limit would be and how early in the day I'd go over. My little college girl now, she only drinks a cup or two a week. I swear, she's the mailman's kid. But she does enjoy her teas and her ramen noodles, both of which she can make without leaving her room at all. All she needs is an outlet and some water, and I hope a cup or a bowl. I tried that whole tea thing. It just wasn't coffee flavored enough for my needs. The number 5 position is held by P-RES-2822 stainless steel. I've got to say, by far the best thing about this percolator is how exceedingly fast the brew time is. Granted, it's only 6 cups, but at less than a minute a cup. How can you go wrong? The flavor of the coffee is good, but not as good as some others. I think this may be due to the aluminum receptacle for the tube. It's the only part on the inside not made of stainless, and it's prone to discoloration. The 6-cup size on this model is about perfect for a regular single coffee drinker or 2 light coffee drinkers. A true connoisseur would be left wanting for more coffee and a little more flavor. Or should I say less flavor? I'm not real sure there. It's better than drip coffee for sure, but not the best percolated flavor around. I do have to say, this is a very well-built coffee maker that can reduce the cost of making coffee at home. For its capacity, it is very heavy. Heavy is good when you're talking about an electric percolator. It means the steel is thick and solid and it's very well insulated. Poor insulation makes for slower brewing and quick heat loss on your finished product. Definitely not going to be a problem on this one. The coffee in this percolator can be far hotter than you'll ever get in a drip machine, which means your coffee won't get cold very fast, and you won't be drinking it very fast either. The number 6 position is dominated by Hamilton Beach 40616. At a little over $30, this large capacity percolator is right up my alley. My coffee comes out delicious and hot as I could possibly want. The unit is very solidly constructed by the feel, but it doesn't weigh a ton. Solid stainless steel is always my choice no matter how I make my coffee. Cleaning is a breeze, though I prefer to season my coffee pots and cups with no residual gunk or discoloration to worry those that don't relish the idea of seasoning. Hey, with cast iron pans they all used to swear by them and getting them really well seasoned, but nowadays you just get Teflon and wash it each time. To each his own. I have my father's favorite coffee cup on a shelf that got used daily, but not washed in 20 years from whenever in the 80s I gave it to him to the day. I wouldn't recommend that if you use creamer or sugar, but he took it plain black. It's black, just black, no crust, no chunks, just a black powdery cup. I bet if I put some hot water in there, it'd make coffee. The detachable cord makes this so much easier to stick up in the cupboard when not using it. I keep all my appliance cords in a drawer. There's nothing worse than trying to pull something out of the cupboard and a coffee maker falling on your head. Okay, so maybe pulling the coffee pot out of the cupboard and a dead mouse falling on your head. But let's not think about that. No cupboard cords. Good times. Moving on to the next at number 7 with Hamilton Beach Seal FCP240P Percolator 40614. Let me start off this review by saying one thing. Wow. Could this coffee maker have any more features? A locking lid so it can't ever get dislodged with vapor pressure, or a full pot of hot coffee being poured too fast, or whatever other ways these things happen. Because let me tell you, you do not want to get freshly percolated coffee dumped on you. Far hotter than any fast food joints. A viewing window to check water/coffee level without opening the pot can be quite useful. Hell, it's handy to remind myself if I ever actually brewed coffee or just dreamt about it. Nothing's worse than thinking you have coffee until you start to pour and all you get is a swallow. This happens a lot with a house full of coffee addicts enjoying the health benefits of coffee. This pot also has the usual features, of course, at least usual for an electric percolator. Stove tops tend to be a lot more basic. The handle stays cool the entire time it's brewing. The spout doesn't dribble. The cord's removable. It has an indicator light to tell you when it's ready. And there's a keep warm function. All these things tend to be taken for granted in one of these units, but you sure miss them when they're gone. The number 8 position is held by Metalco 8CUP Stove TOP GLAS Percolator. I've always admired the aesthetics of these glass percolators, but until recently I'd always been nervous about the entire glass thing. To me, glass and cast iron burner grates with half-asleep coffee seekers can't end well. However, the glass on this thing is the last thing I ever need to worry about. It's just fantastically durable to heat as well as the usual dinks. Just be careful if you get any chips or cracks, replace it or any glass percolator immediately. Heating the pot even one more time could cause dangerous shattering. It's not just about it looking pretty either. It's about being able to see how light or dark your brew is too. Not everyone enjoys the same strength of coffee, so this is a very useful feature. Rich, intense coffee is some people's idea of ideal. Others like to see through it. I'll never understand that one, but whatever. You do need to be careful with this model's plastic filter basket. Under recommended use it should be just fine, but stovetop percolators do have a tendency to be overheated, overfilled, overlooked, and left on too long. You get the picture. When these things occur too often, over time the plastic can start to warp, compromising the pot's integrity. Luckily, this is probably the most inexpensive percolator I have ever seen, unless it was at a thrift store or something. Seriously, even with tax, if you set aside $1 a day, in 2 weeks you could buy one. It is simply an amazing deal. These are great percolators. You just have to take care of the plastic basket, but add in the unbelievability of the price, and you've got a miracle. I'd buy 3. In fact, I think I will. Next at number 9 we have Statsport 9-cup aluminum seal FCP240P pot. This percolator is very classically modeled. I believe the same design was available 40 years ago even. This is a good, and maybe not so good thing. Anything that can be made for that many years, despite tons of advancements in the same type of product, must be doing something right. At the same time, tons of advancements have been made all around it. Why hasn't there been at least some here? This coffee pot is very distinctly made with the purpose of camping in mind. That's not to say that it can't be used domestically, but its features, and absence thereof, are aimed at just that. Camping. The metal dents easy. The handles are inconvenient, but so is sticking your hand in a campfire to retrieve it, and it's extremely cheap. Things get lost and broken, or may be eaten by bear camping. Good things? And then there's the pricing. There's no way you can be disappointed in this kettle for the size. It brews a fine cup or cups of coffee, same as all the other stovetop and campfire percolators out there. This one just happens to dent easier, so it's not as pretty, and it costs far less. I've always had a Coleman enameled percolator, which is fantastic, but you could buy TWO of the 20-cup versions of this for the cost of one of those. Winning. Finally, the number 10 position is dominated by Wesco CLS SIC 54159 L Hector IC Percolator. I wish I could sing the praises of this percolator more. I love that the base and handle stay cool so I can take it wherever I have company, and don't need to bring a tripod or oven mitt. The detachable cord also comes in handy for this, but it's extremely short. The walls on my kitchen counters are lined with various canisters and organizers, making it difficult to plug this machine in where it's away from stuff. The fact this carafe automatically changes to the keep warm setting is a lifesaver to me, possibly even a kitchen saver. You know how easy it is to get distracted doing something. Looking something up online, watching something on TV you never intended to. It's far too easy to forget to turn off or pour on the auto shutoffs your coffee. This is insurance against those things. A 12-cup coffee maker has been my standard for many years now, with larger pots causing me to frequently drool and fantasize about buying more. But I'm told I can only use so many percolators. But why? Well, money is one reason, and this pot doesn't really cater to the compulsive collector. It's not a high price at all, but it's also not one of the machines I will dream about for the next 3 days. That's all for today. We upload house product review videos every single day, so don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for the upcoming video notification.